Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's episode of What the Health Just Happened, where we talk about all things healthcare, the good, the bad, the ups, the downs, the lefts, the rights, and everything in between. We also bring on a variety of business owners, community leaders and advocates, nonprofits to talk all things healthy and unhealthy in business and life. Today's guest, the introductions here. I'm gonna read this real quick. Okay, so you're responsible for all things communications with Leadership Jacksonville, great organization locally. Founder and owner of Style by Manisha, with an upcoming event next year we're going to get into. Proud mother of two, 15 and 18.
Yes.
Got your daughter who's going to hop on the second half. And based off my conversations to date, an overall kind, optimistic, and good human being. Welcome, Manisha Joshi. I think, did I say your last name right?
You
also?
did. It was perfect.
I like to say names correctly. Manisha, welcome. Again, I don't even remember how we got in touch. You reached out via LinkedIn, right?
On the fabulous social media platform LinkedIn.
I like LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I
remember seeing Gracie Simendinger was on your show.
Simendinger.
Yes.
That's how I say her name. Sorry.
Love it. And then I saw the series of guests that you had, and I thought, wait a minute. When you started talking about mental health, and I saw the connection to the fashion show, I thought, I've got to reach out.
Yeah.
That's how we connected.
So it's not going to be a roller coaster, but just a little background on where you've come from, where you work, what you're doing, and then we'll talk about mental health specifically and something that I can probably relate to, by the way.
Okay.
So communications at Leadership Jacks. That's your current...
Yes. I call myself the communications department.
The communications department. Department of one.
Department of one. Because I encompass managing the entire website, all of our social media, our monthly newsletter, anything at all to do with how we communicate with our alumni, sponsors, donors, all of it, it's so exciting because we've got such a supportive group of alumni members who are really passionate about, our tagline, which is to educate, connect, and inspire future leaders in Northeast Florida. And it's what we do. And when they graduate from our classes, staying in touch with them, continuing to connect with them, and seeing what they do in the community, I mean, it's kind of that yes, our programs are making a difference no matter what age level. There's
some really cool names that have gone through that program.
Yeah.
I told Gracie also, by the way, I still have my rejection letter. I applied a couple years ago, and it's in my garage. So what Leadership Jacks, just briefly, what is it? The tagline, say it again.
Yeah.
The deadline to apply, because I think that's coming up for 2025.
It is.
You have to apply soon.
We have nominations happening as we speak. They end on Friday, December 15th at midnight. However, if you did miss nominations, you can still apply. And those open on January 3rd. And we're super excited for the next class. We're in the LJ 2024 class right now, which is very passionate and engaging. But it really is about educating, connecting, and inspiring because there's so much diversity in Jacksonville. I mean, of all ethnicities, ages, and somebody had told me 1,000 people a day are moving in to Jacksonville.
That's crazy.
That's a lot of people.
That's crazy.
And so we have this opportunity of connecting all of these talents and races and putting them all together in a room. And when you see their voices come alive, it's so powerful.
Yeah.
It really is.
Okay, so... we could talk about Leadership Jacks the whole time. We won't, because Gracie's coming back on in January.
Awesome.
What do you, again, I know the answer to this. What are you passionate about in the story? So what is Style by Manisha? How that started? I love that story.
I know. It is a funny story. I was in Orlando in a hotel room, and came upstairs on a break, and I thought to myself, I know.
I'm kidding.
Not a great hotel. It's not a great city for creativity. Sorry, Orlando. But I was sitting in my room, and I thought, I'm going to start a business. And I opened up Facebook, and I came up with Style by Manisha. I put the Facebook page together, and I put together what I want to do. And it really stemmed from friends asking me to help them with their social media. And my photographer friend asking me to style her clients. And I thought, wait a minute, this is about looking great online and looking great offline. How do I mold it together?
Yeah.
And I tell people all the time, and sometimes I might embarrass them, that when you meet someone and their LinkedIn profile doesn't look like who they are in person, I don't know that it's that person. So I've often blurted out, but that didn't look like you online.
That's not you.
And I'm so passionate about how when you leave a room or if you're not in it, someone's looking you up on social media. Someone wants to know who you are. And that's why it's important to have your social media updated, your photography, all of it. And when you walk into a room, even though people say you don't judge a book by its cover, we do. We size someone up based on what they're wearing.
The first 7 seconds.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. So to me, styling someone, giving them that confidence that when they walk into the room, they could easily speak to 200 people, that to me is so important.
So 2 things. I got to just make a comment real quick. I typically just wear a T-shirt, but I knew you were coming, so I wore a jacket today.
I noticed that. It's very spiffy.
Jeans and T-shirts is kind of
Do you guys confess? Is he a T-shirt guy?
Oh, totally. I don't even think you like polos.
Right? I hate polos. I hate polos. I like button downs with like sleeves rolled. Sorry, I'm getting off topic.
No, that's
already.
Okay. Whenever we go out, I always tell my son, "Can you put something with a collar on?"
Yeah, man. But we won't start on that. So I think it's fascinating, right? So you can start a business on Facebook. That's the day, the time and age we're in. You can start a business on Facebook. You can do it through LinkedIn. You can do it through Instagram. So you're doing something for friends, and you thought, man, I could do this and have it as a job, right?
Absolutely. And there was a niche for it. There was a market for it, and people loved that. Wait a minute, you can take my photo. I learned how to do video on my own, and I just kind of built this whole thing together. And so when I tell people, like, what is Style by Manisha, it's where I make you look great online and off, because my tagline is, your brand begins the moment you walk out the front door.
I wrote this down. I like that on the phone call we had. Your brand begins the second you walk out the front door. Mm-hmm. And then since she said that, every morning I leave, I'm like, oh, man, my brand is a mess. I'm kidding.
But after this, you will notice, even going to the supermarket, wherever you go, you look at someone when you turn the aisle or somewhere, and you think, wow, is that a person a CEO, or did they just roll out of bed?
I would say 80% of the time, personally, I look like I rolled out of bed, unfortunately. I got to step my
But you put a jacket on today. I'm so proud of you.
I did. But you're right. I mean, you're spot on. When we present to a client, so our industry, we're presenting to CEOs, CFOs often, based off of how they dress in the office, that's how we're going to show up.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is not many businesses right now are full suits and ties anymore.
They're not, and we've kind of, ever since Casual Fridays, way back in the 90s, was introduced. Remember, it used to be like the khaki pants
shoulder
and
pads.
The polo. Yeah.
Women's shoulder pads.
Yeah, I remember those days. We sort of became Casual Friday every day, and we've lost that opportunity to really show up. And what I tell people is, when you do dress up, when you take 5 more minutes to look in the mirror and polish it up, you're respecting who you see. You're not just... some people think, oh, fashion, it's this, it's that. No, it's also about telling someone else how much you respect their time and value who they are by showing up and giving your best self. How many times you hear women say, I have nothing in my closet to wear? And when I go to their house, and I style them, the first question I ask is, tomorrow morning you're going to speak to 200 CEOs. What's your go-to confidence outfit? And sure enough, they have one. And that's what I tell them to wear in the photograph. We all have it in our closet, but sometimes we need to,
this goes back to, again, mental health. And I think self-esteem and confidence is really important. And again, I don't have any research articles in front of me, obviously, but people's confidence and self-esteem is just bottoming out.
I mean, look how confident you are in a jacket.
I'm not going to lie. I feel like I'm ready, man.
I wish the audience could see you boxing right now.
There you go. He'll make sure to send me that clip for sure. Social media, it's a blessing and a curse, I think.
Yes, it is.
What's the blessing of it? And I'm happy to share what I think is
absolutely. I think the blessing is connections. I've connected with, after my father passed away, I found his entire family on Facebook. I have made incredible connections in the business world on LinkedIn. Sometimes Instagram and Twitter, you can fall into that spiral of, wait a minute, I don't have that house, I don't have her car. But I think what we have to take away from social media is it's not reality, right?
You know that.
A Christmas card, you're not going to put pictures of everyone, eating in their worst outfits on, they're going to do the pretty Christmas picture in the forest or somewhere. And so what I like to tell people that say, oh, I hate social media. It's just, it makes me feel like I don't have enough. It's negative. And it's like, but it's a feed. And you have the option of taking what you want with that little X. Just like you take the garbage out every night, you can take the garbage off your feed. You can unfriend, you can block, and you can unfollow. And so you really have to scrutinize what you want coming in. It's kind of like the TV, right? I mean, I grew up with where there was 5 channels. Does that date me? That dates
a little
me.
bit.
It does.
It's okay.
I remember holding the antenna from my dad.
Yeah, I did that too. And
then putting Reynolds wrap, so you got just the right.
Yeah.
Rabbit's ears.
You guys look like you're 10. Do you guys remember this?
I'm 40.
Really?
Yeah, I'm also 40.
Almost 40.
I turned a deck of cards Saturday.
Oh,
my daughter's like, oh, you're using that line again, Mom.
I love it.
But you would turn it off if it bothered you. And that's the same power we have with social media. We can turn it off.
Self-control.
Exactly.
And again, I like to point out my flaws just so people know, like, hey, a lot of people have these issues. I catch myself. I watch how much time I spend on my phone. Every Sunday I get that report and I'm looking, where am I wasting
Do you really?
time?
That's
Big
great.
time. And when I notice, Instagram's one of them, like doom scrolling. Like, I love ridiculous videos, just dumb videos that make me laugh. And then one day I'm like, oh my gosh, I spent an hour scrolling nonsense. And then, like you said too, that another part that I've got young kids, and again, I can't wait for your daughter to chime in. I'm curious your thoughts on them using social media, but teenage girls, what it does for their self-esteem. I'm not even there yet. My daughter's 5, right?
Get ready.
But I'm not. You know, again, you want your perfect picture on there. You can see anywhere you go, there's middle school, high school, even college girls taking multiple pictures instead of enjoying a beautiful sunset.
Exactly.
What do you do about it? I don't know.
Do you ever think there's a time and place, though, where it becomes trendy and cool to not be on the social medias? Like,
yes.
I mean, being a hipster became cool, you know?
Yeah.
So maybe it'll be cool
Fedora
one day to not be on
hats or-
social media.
I absolutely think so. And I'll be honest, I get asked a lot, oh, I haven't seen you post. Where have you been? My favorite question is everything okay? You haven't posted. And I thought, well, I must be living if I'm not writing. And so oftentimes, and I really stay highly connected to friends. I'm still old-fashioned. I pick up the phone and call. And so I think it's okay to say, you know what, I'm busy living right now instead of posting about what I'm living. It's,
Sure.
you know, and there also is a sense of mystery sometimes. You know, people ask me that lovely question, how many times a week should I post? And I tell them, use your comfort level. I'd love to say 3 times a week. Some people thought it was like 7 days a week. And I said, no, you don't have to. Have enough on there so if somebody finds you, all of your critical info's updated. But you don't always have to post your status.
Would you almost say there's like an authenticity factor that comes along with that
Yes.
people kind of latch onto?
Yeah.
Because it's more human that way.
And I'm more apt to take someone off my feed when they're not authentic.
Fair enough.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. So it's funny you said that. This show, What the Health Just Happened, we're starting to get video clips, and we've got just a huge database of stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't have the patience, and I'm not active on Instagram and other social media platforms. But people are like, why don't you post this on other places?
Yeah.
It's because I don't want to, but I think we probably could and should.
And guess what, though? You still got discovered.
Well, LinkedIn, I was going to say, LinkedIn's another one.
Yeah.
You mentioned this. If I go a week without posting something on LinkedIn, people message me like, hey, what's wrong? What are you doing? Why aren't you posting? I'm like, so again, there's ups and downs
because
to
we
it,
miss the pictures with you and your kids eating cereal.
Okay. I'll get back on
why.
top of that.
Yeah.
Although now it's like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and not healthy, by the way, Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
It's so good.
It's delicious.
It's so good. But
But
my
it's not
favorite's
healthy.
Honey Bunches of Oats with almonds.
I love when we get off random topics here. Favorite cereal?
Probably Captain Crunch.
Really?
Yeah, but it's bad for the gums, I think.
He wants to chime in, by the way.
I have one that most people. I like Raisin Bran the most.
I still like Raisin Bran, too.
that's good.
You can't beat Raisin
Yeah.
Bran. Even the
Who
knockoff brand.
confesses to Frosted Flakes?
I liked Frosted
That
Flakes,
was
too.
good.
I'm not going to.
Saloni, what's yours? I know.
No
She's
cereal,
one of the
cereal.
healthiest people I know.
That's good, though.
She cleaned up my cabinets.
And like took all the trash out?
She did.
Yeah.
She taught me the
Oh, we're gonna
ingredient
talk about
labels.
this.
And,
This is
yeah,
good.
it was
No
great.
seed oils.
Processed food. Daughter, champ. This is me writing notes.
So I got a question for you.
yes.
For most of your clients, are you focusing more on LinkedIn, or is it like a mixture of LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram? What's kind of your...
The top 3 are LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram.
Okay.
Because depending on their business, if they're more pictorial, I always emphasize Instagram. If they're more services, I always emphasize LinkedIn. And if it's a more personal business, like one of them was organizing houses, I recommend Facebook because you're going to find more of a female audience that is like, hey, help me with my
What about
closet.
TikTok? You active on
Do
TikTok?
you know that I've never been on TikTok?
Yeah.
Me neither.
I haven't. I have one, but my
I
wife,
just,
same thing.
It would make me dizzy.
I'm the same way.
I like
can't-
long videos, not
Yeah.
the short ones where I'm like, but wait, I didn't get to see the rest.
Oh my gosh! All right. I love when we get off on random tangents like cereal and
Yeah.
social media. So let's kind of pivot, rewind it here. I'm using a fishing line. What am I doing with my hands? There's a lot of hand
You're
activity.
reeling it back
I'm
in?
normally not this handsy, but today we're getting handsy. So Style by Manisha,
Yes.
you have this passion and thing that you love. Let's start to kind of transition into, we're going to really talk about the event, but what happened? Like, why'd you start this? That means we have 10 minutes left, but I
Perfect.
love just saying, if he holds his hands up, that means...
It's 10. It really stemmed from my daughter. So I, as you know now, learning what I do, I watched fashion shows growing up with my mom, learned the importance of dress and style, even setting the table. And so my daughter, watching my love of fashion and the runway, and she sees how many magazines I've subscribed to.
How many?
Do you really want to?
You told me 20 plus.
21.
Oh, man.
Wow.
21 magazines.
That's impressive.
That's definitely the question.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, man.
Well, considering we're in December and I'm reading the April issue,
Oh,
probably. Although I will, I got to credit Gracie Simendinger for giving the first book in years to read.
What was it?
It's called The Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes.
I don't think
And
I've
she
heard of
thought
that.
it would be great for me because there was, a few things I was kind of questioning about work and just training and everything. And she said, I've got a book for you. And I've actually 60 pages into it.
Well done.
I know, I'm
How many pages are
impressed.
there total?
I don't know.
That's all right. So here we go again. Let's get handsy.
Yeah,
we're
the
gonna
tangent,
reel
right?
back.
So from that, Saloni got into taking classes at Sessions Modeling, going to fashion shows with me, and she loved it. She's like, Mom, I love the energy. I love the confidence of these models. I love the style. But I never saw her size on the runway.
These are the models walking
These are the models.
runway.
They were
Yep.
always an average of like 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", or taller.
Taller than me.
Everyone in the
So
room. Other
I didn't
than,
see
Yeah.
myself, nor did I see her size. And she took all these classes, and she was told to her face by modeling agencies, we'll get back to you, you're small, you're short. And I thought, my goodness, what does that do to a young girl's self-esteem when she's aspiring to be on a runway, but it's a cookie cutter size of 5'10". That's the average size of a model on a runway. And she's 5 feet. There should be a place for her if we are pushing diversity in fashion, in retail. Why aren't there petite models on the runway? And I did a global search, and I couldn't believe this is the inaugural petite fashion show. No one has done one before,
Anywhere.
anywhere. And so the reason I named it 64 inches of style is that's 5'4". That's what's
Considered
5'4". Yes, petite, that and under.
Okay. What about is it the same for men?
For men, it's 5'6". But I will
you
tell
made the
you,
cut.
No, I don't think I
here's
made the
what's
cut. I'm a
unhealthy.
petite
Talk
man.
about- how tall are you?
I'm like 5'5" on a good
Do
day.
you want a model?
No.
Possibly.
I really need
Same
male
with my
models.
whole
because-
family.
We'll get to that too. I want to talk about
Yeah.
opportunities for people to model.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we're good. How much time we got? 8 minutes.
So on that note,
Just ask. We just do it on the
a
air.
lot of people asked me, will you have male models? But do you know how hard it is to walk up to a man and say, how tall are you?
Oh,
And they kind of
yeah.
look, and I did that, and I accidentally, in the building where I work, asked a gentleman, and he said, how short do you think I am? I'm 5'7". And I said, I'm sorry, never mind. And then it was kind of that awkwardness of, why are you asking me? And I thought, maybe I'll open this show with female models and see if there are gentlemen in the, that's what kind of was disturbing, is why can't petite men or women have the confidence to be proud and say, I'm 5'3". The first thing every woman has said to me is, well, I'm 5'6" in heels. And I said, but I didn't ask that.
Yeah.
I want to know what your height is. I want you to feel like you can command a room no matter what your height is. And so in doing this research and seeing what my daughter went through, I said, that's it. If no one's doing it, I'm doing it.
Again, we've got a whole second half. We'll really talk about this a lot too, or start now. So 64 inches of style, which is 5'4" and under. And you said for men was 5'6".
Yes.
How many inches is
And
that?
I've got a
Do
model
some
right
math.
here.
I don't even know. Yeah.
So how many models do you have so far?
I have 15
15
models,
models.
but I would absolutely welcome more, because the greatest thing about this is it's a very creative fashion show, and that they get to choose what they want to wear. Again, pulling the confidence outfit out of their closet. This is about the models. This is not about showing off a retailer or telling me I can, you find this at X department store. When these models walk out, there's sort of a surprise element to it, but they will be actually sharing what their obstacles were. And then the flip side of the fashion show is, what have they achieved? And I'm really excited because Melanie Patz, who's CEO of United Way, is opening the show. And she is the sweetest, she's just like this pixie of a figure. Yet she gets behind a microphone. Everybody's quiet.
She's great.
And I want to show girls and women that this can be you. This is an individual that didn't let her size stop her. If anything, if you see her walk down the hall at the Jessie, it's like, it's Melanie. You want to stop and talk to her. That's the kind of umph she gives to a room. And I want everyone that night to feel that way.
And again, interpreting some things you're saying. So this is not to put a spotlight on any department store, any brand of clothing. This is to create self-esteem, confidence for females specifically, possibly males that maybe haven't had the opportunity to do that.
I had a young girl I approached, and the first thing she said, "But you want me to model? I'm plus size. She said, look at me." And I said, "I am. I'm checking you out. I'm loving the curves."
Yeah.
And we had a good laugh, and she said, "But I've got this big paunch, and I've got these hips." And I said, "Honey, you're exactly what I want on the runway. You're real." And she said right after that plus size models that she sees in magazines aren't real because they've got flat stomachs, they still have the firm arms. And I said, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, we are taught to think that there's diversity in magazines, in movies, but I want to see stretch marks. I want to see the real flab. I want to see the real thing.
You were going to say something?
I was going to say probably social media has probably made people want to seek that out more than ever.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I was also going to ask you, do you know what like the average height of the woman is worldwide?
You know, that's a great question.
Because I was going to say it is because of the different ethnicities.
Yeah.
If you go around the world, I mean, most people are pretty tiny as a whole.
My daughter's doing the research, and I need to know.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah,
everybody's got their phones
live
out right
research. All right, that's good to know. 5'3". So, in a weird way, you being outcasted is kind of weird because
you're more representative of the population.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess that's today's culture, which I've always heard because my whole family's pretty short.
Yeah.
Like I always heard the theory, like when it comes to clothes, people that are shorter actually pull off the clothes and clothes look better. Like smaller shoes actually look better. Things that are more petite actually visually look better than some big goofy foot, some long jeans.
Clown shoes.
No, I mean, so
Ronald
it's just,
McDonald.
I find that funny if the fashion industry would push that away.
That's actually, you brought something up.
Yeah.
Let's talk about clothing stores, right? So you
Yes.
mentioned having issues where, hey, we don't have that in your size.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's maybe a handful of department stores, and my daughter and I love to shop, where I continually get told, well, I'm sorry, you'll have to go online. Would you like to try it in a regular size and then we can order petite? But I don't know if that's still going to fit me. And then you're in this sort of hamster wheel of returning and buying and returning. And so when you go into a store and you can't even find something that's your size, what does that say? And if, in fact, the average height is 5'3" for women, then we're subjected to go to the tailor all the time, which I do have a great tailor, but is that where I...
No, keep going. I'm like, who's your tailor? Want to say hi?
Yeah,
She's
shout
great.
out.
She's downtown.
I always give a shout out to my mom. Hi, Mom, I love you. She's 4'11", and I keep trying to measure. Be like, hey, you want to do a?
Would she like
walk
to
in the-
model?
I keep asking her.
That'd be
She
amazing.
might. She might.
Well, you're coming to the fashion show,
I'll
right?
be there.
Okay.
I'll go for sure.
So then you can, arm in arm, have your mom walk out.
We'll get some people from our office to go too. I think
Beautiful.
that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do we have? Like a minute or two left here. The last couple minutes of the first segment's always.
How do you feel? Because you're the tallest one in the room.
I was just told I have clown shoes.
Oh no!
What size are
Sorry,
you?
dude. Sorry.
Oh man.
He's like, I'm not going to say anything.
How tall are you?
I'm 6'2".
Okay. Oh, I'm so
Wow.
jealous.
It is.
But it's funny, like short people, I was even saying to your daughter, like
Vertically
flying.
challenged.
I like short.
I'm
I'm not
kidding.
offended by it, but like it would more be like flying. There's so many perks, or even like big men,
Oh, I
big
love-
women,
I
like
can sit anywhere
body
and be comfortable.
aching. Like there are
Yeah.
huge perks to being a smaller individual.
Yeah.
So I kind of laugh when anybody brings it up sometimes.
What I wanted to ask, as somebody who obviously couldn't be in it,
Yeah.
how is somebody that maybe isn't able to do that? How could they support or?
We're gonna
Okay,
hammer that the second
okay.
half.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
how do you
Thank you,
support?
though, for
Where do you
that.
sign up?
Yes.
No, that's good. Like second half is predominantly this with your daughter on, of course. But
And you know what's funny is the recent modeling agency my daughter was at, and I was talking about height and everything, and I just blurted out, just because I can't reach the top shelf doesn't mean I can't climb the ladder.
I like that.
And then I stopped myself. I was like, ooh, that's good.
Say that again.
Write that down.
All right, so Manisha Joshi, who works for Leadership Jacks, but also has a company, Style by Manisha. We're going to talk about the specific event that you're starting. That was a lot of fun the first half.
This was great.
Yeah, so that's what the health just happened. Flies by. All right, welcome back to the second half of What the Health Just Happened. If you missed the first half, good news is it'll be available on your favorite podcast platform, whatever that may be. Manisha Joshi works with Leadership Jacks and Communications, also has Style by Manisha. We're going to talk about event, get heavy here. but her daughter's joining us in the second half. And introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Saloni. I'm a senior at Wolfson High School, and yeah.
I can't wait for this. Again, we talked first half, fashion industry, social media. We talked about cereal at one point. Off air, we were talking about mom rapping. I'm going to see if I can't get her to do a cheesy rap to embarrass her daughter here. But again, you can catch the first half on podcast if you want. The second half here, again, I love that she's joining us when we had talked on the phone. Just kind of recap 64 inches of style. Right, the idea you had, why you started it, and she's the walking
She's the
image, the
inspiration
reason you
behind
did
it.
this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Saloni, how do you feel about being in the fashion show?
I'm very excited. I think it's amazing. It's a great opportunity, and I love my mom, so I think it's awesome that she's doing this for me. But yeah.
I would love for you to share what you went through, going through and meeting with these modeling agencies, and what you felt when they said, hey, we'll get back to you, and the comments they made on your stature.
So I've visited a couple different agencies. I've also emailed a lot of agencies, texted, whatever, sent letters, a whole bunch of things. And the only things I've really gotten back from most, 90%, is just that, talk to us when you're over 5'6", talk to us when you're not petite anymore, things like that. And I've applied to so many agencies, and, on their website, it'll say must be 5'7" or above for women. So all it's been is just a lot of negative energy, and it's defeating to know that, they like my size because I'm a 00. I fit all the clothes that they want, but I'm not tall enough to do anything. And it's defeating because modeling is literally my dream. I'm a creative person, and that's what I want to do. And all it's been is no's. So it's
just shot down after shot down.
Yeah.
And again, this is modeling agencies specifically.
Mm-hmm.
You said you won't name names. I want to throw them all under the bus, by the way.
No.
So, how tall are you?
I'm 5 feet. I'm 4'11" and 3/4.
4'11".
I round up.
I like it. Round up always. And you have this passion and something that you love and you want to do. And for something that's completely outside of your control, it's been difficult so far.
Yes.
You know what? Don't stop. Persistency, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Telling
Well,
myself
that's why
that.
just seeing what she, and I would be right there in the room when they would say this to her. And I thought, my gosh, if I was her, I'd be crushed. But I thought instead of being crushed, why don't we do something about it and have a fashion show? Let's be the first. Let's get real models on the run. And these girls, as soon as I can model? Me? I can model? Wait, there's going to be a runway? And I said, there's absolutely going to be a runway. And you're going to be on it.
And the thing is that the industry is expanding by the day by including plus size models. I mean, there never used to be maternity or size clothing or plus size models walking the runway. And for the past Miami swim week, this summer they had 90% of their shows had at least 2 plus size models. And it's these models, plus size models are above 5 feet tall, but it's why can't we have vertically challenged models
That's my term. That's what I use for myself.
I use the same term. It's if you're gonna have real size diversity, then there's a whole market that you're just missing out on. It's not fair.
I still want to do healthy or not healthy, by the way. Have you heard the term short king?
No.
Yes.
That is a term thrown around often.
Yes.
And
It's
again,
a social media thing. I don't think.
my wife has
I'm not cool enough.
my contact saved in her phone as short king. No. Yes. I'm
Oh my
Trey and I can
gosh.
relate to the vertically challenged stuff, by the way. And if you have questions, you can walk over here and ask them, both you guys. Okay. Healthy or not healthy? Double-digit magazine subscriptions.
Absolutely
Unhealthy.
Unhealthy? I like different answers. Okay, healthy or not healthy? The modeling industry.
Unhealthy.
Unhealthy.
Unhealthy? Okay. Healthy or not healthy? Social media.
Unhealthy.
Unhealthy?
I knew you were gonna say healthy, but it's
Only
not
because
healthy.
of the connections I've made. But I'm one of those people that I can easily go a week without even logging in.
Yeah.
It's not easy for everyone. Though.
Yeah.
Healthy or unhealthy? Your mom rapping.
I'll say healthy. Honestly.
Okay. Okay. I like it. Healthy or not healthy? A good sense of humor.
Healthy.
Healthy.
That's the
Absolutely.
healthiest thing, I think.
It is.
Okay. You got any you want to throw out?
Do you?
It's tough. I always put
That's
people on the
hard. That's
spot.
hard.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is.
You don't
Hard
have
to ask
to.
those questions.
Healthy or not healthy? Looking in the mirror every day.
I'm healthy. Listen, no,
Healthy.
Here's
look.
the thing
I have
is-
every day I tell people in our office too, look yourself in the mirror
Yeah.
and speak kindly to yourself. And even when you're not looking in the mirror, is what you're saying between this
Yeah.
space. It's got to be good. Otherwise, you're
we're all beautiful in
trouble.
our own ways. We're all handsome. We're all beautiful. And I just think that we, again, like you said, social media, we've got some of these women with lollipop heads making us think we're supposed to live on lettuce and water. And that's not reality. It's kind of like as a vegetarian, I get told, oh, the restaurant has salad. Well, that's not really a meal. I mean, unless you put 25 ingredients in it, I don't want to have lettuce leaves as dinner. And so there's these perceptions that are put out there. And for modeling, like she said, it says right on their websites, must be a certain, size.
That's
and
like a
age.
class action lawsuit, by the way.
It's crazy.
You hear that? Fair and Fair, aren't they in this building, by the way? Like, oh, man.
Yeah.
I want to call them out, but I'm not going to.
On Saturdays? Oh, geez. Okay, so back to the event, because, again, I want to talk about how do people get involved.
Okay.
Are you looking for sponsorships? We'll talk about models, too, but when is the event?
It is Thursday, February 22nd, 2024, so next year. So we have some time for everyone to purchase their tickets. And I am actually funding this completely by myself. I decided not to look for sponsors or for any big ticket corporations because, again, this is about the models.
Yeah.
And I was actually asked if I would get any sort of, local celebrities. And I said, you know what? This is solely about my daughter. This is solely seeing what she went through. And I want every girl in the room to feel that this show and this evening is about themselves. So I'm really relying on ticket sales. I'm encouraging table packages if there are retailers, organizations, or folks that have businesses with services that would like to display their goods or whatever they have. And it's just going to be a fun night. We have Mike Freed doing a little comedy stint on what it's like to be short and bald. Love his comedy, so it's going to be great. And again, Melanie Patz is opening it up. And we may have some continuing surprises. I still have folks that come to me and say, can I talk at your show about what it's like, to be petite or what I've gone through? And I said, absolutely. We will put 5 to 10 minutes in for you to speak. So
I'm going to say this again. So Thursday, February 22nd, 2024, 64 inches of style. Where is it?
And it's going to be downtown at the Jessie, the beautiful glass building.
Cool
that was
spot.
the old library. Yeah. I have the event on Facebook, and I also have it on LinkedIn, so all the ticket links are there. And, it's going to be great. At 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, February 22nd, 2024.
Yes. There's going to be plenty to eat. There'll be music. It's going to be a fun night.
15 models currently. How many do you want?
Ideally, I would love 25 models.
So you hear this.
And remember that folks towards the show, may say, I can't make it, have to cancel. So I'd rather have a great database of models that would be interested. I don't want to turn anyone away. As real as it is, I don't want to turn anyone away.
So 25 models, you hear that. If you are 64 inches or below and you have not had an opportunity to model or walk the runway, this is your chance.
This is your chance.
Yes.
And it's going to be awesome.
Do you have anyone coming from outside of Northeast Florida?
I don't. Do you have someone in mind?
I don't. I'm just thinking again, if you're in Texas and you happen to hear this.
I would love to fly in Reese Witherspoon, who's 5'1", and I was just reading her quote
Reese,
the other day.
listen, I know you listen to the show.
Come on, Reese, show up at the fashion show. But she said one of the first things she was told when she arrived in Los Angeles is, you're not tall enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not smart enough.
Reese Witherspoon?
And look at her now.
I love Reese Witherspoon.
She's her
now we're
own
getting on
walking billion-dollar industry. I mean, everything she's done. I look at Kristen Chenoweth. I look at Prince, Danny DeVito.
I love Danny DeVito. These are all some of my favorite people.
Richard Dreyfuss. I didn't know he was petite. But in doing all this research, even Huffington Post, Fortune, Forbes, all of them have written articles about how hard it is to be petite. And I thought, why aren't we writing articles on how great it is to be petite?
So let's talk about confidence and self-esteem. Because I would say the fact that you can walk in here and do this, some people are incredibly nervous. It's obviously a casual setting, but can you share, was your self-esteem or confidence affected when you heard that? Or you're just...
Yeah, I mean, yes. There's no dancing around the answer because it's if modeling. Obviously, I have other dreams now, but modeling has been my dream for the longest time, and it's something I wanted to do as a real career. Like so many other women get the chance to do it, and so hearing that you can't do this just because it's out of your control. I can work out as much as I want to, eat as healthy as I want to, and try to get the ideal model body, but I'll never have it, and that's a frustrating thing because I could work as hard as I want and contact all these agencies and, take Instagram pictures, whatever it takes, and they still won't want me. And it's in this day and age, when there's diversity, everywhere, it's why isn't there diversity in the modeling industry? It's frustrating.
Yeah.
So what are the other dreams? You said now you have other dreams besides just modeling. Let's hear it.
Well, not necessarily other dreams, but now I've just obviously like looked for other career paths because it's like modeling is like a dream, like something you can aspire to that that may never happen for you. So it's kind of like I've had to like figure out what are my other interests, what are other things I could possibly do, and because it's my senior year, like I have to think about it even more. But I think for me, like I want to do something in like exercise physiology or something because I'm just like a health freak. So like,
Good job, Mom.
Yeah.
You've done a good job, Mom.
I hope so.
I'm impressed.
She's amazing to me. You know, I hope I did a good job. But like she said, her interest in health. She's my trainer.
yes.
I like, so we might have to talk about that for a second. A lot of this is about health and wellness, right?
Yeah.
Before that, any college plans? You looking at colleges yet?
Yes, I just got into FSU last night.
Okay.
Decisions came out.
We got some Seminoles in here, by the way.
I mean, I'm a Gator.
I knew. She's like, I want to get into UF.
I'm a Gator through and through, but go Knowles, I guess. But I want to go to UF. But I've gotten into like all the Florida schools that I applied to.
Yeah.
So I'm just waiting on UF and like North Carolina and South Carolina. So UF is the goal because med school.
I heard it's crazy to get into UF right now.
Very
It is
difficult.
very hard. Because FSU literally used to be like a safety school, like
For us
like
dummies.
it's like it's crazy. I mean like for my school, like my school is like we have kids going to all the Ivy League schools and stuff like that. So it's like FSU is like you should be able to get in there, and it's not the case. It's not like that anymore. I don't even know how I got in, to be honest. So
I mean, again, I graduated high school a long time ago, 2001,
Yeah.
and the criteria to get into FSU was not that crazy.
Yeah.
The SAT
No,
scores,
it
ACT,
wasn't.
GPA,
Yeah.
and that's
SAT score for FSU, the median was 1350.
dang.
I don't even.
Trey, would you have got in with a 1350?
Dude, I almost got half that.
Oh man, not healthy.
Not healthy.
Oh man, I don't even remember what I got on my SAT. Not healthy.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. That's the other thing too. Like these aptitude tests to get into college, That's not the real world. I'm sorry. I don't.
It's not.
And even
so
the current
annoying.
school system. We were talking about this earlier. I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing some changes in school systems too. But okay, exercise. You're a health nut.
Yes.
I'm a self-proclaimed health nut.
Yes, I know. That's why when you told me about this, I was really excited.
Diet.
Healthy, very healthy. I'm
What?
vegetarian.
Vegetarian also.
Yeah.
She mentioned that.
I try to be vegan sometimes, but I'm a runner, so I have to eat a lot of protein. So it's not. I have
Do
to
you
eat
run at
eggs.
Wilson's?
Yeah, I do. I do cross country and track. I used to play soccer.
Okay.
So that's where it came
She
from.
was the captain of her track team and did a great job.
It was cross country.
Oh, sorry.
Track isn't this.
How long are the runs in cross country?
So you only run the 5K, like that's a race, and then so for practice we obviously run more than that, but our race is always a 5K.
Which is what, 3.2 miles?
3.12 miles, yeah.
If we combined, like he ran half and I ran half, could you beat us in a 5K?
What do you think?
100%. I don't even have to ask. It's not even debatable. What do you think you could run a mile in right now?
We would smoke her.
Really?
Oh,
What's your mile time?
Half and half?
I don't know, but I'm not on the mic, so I won't.
Oh yeah. Also, we would like try to injure ourselves just to win.
It's not easy. It's not easy.
The fastest mile I ever ran, again, but a long time ago, was 5 minutes and 46 seconds.
Oh, that's good.
wow.
But I couldn't keep that pace. And again, that was a long time ago.
That's good.
I don't like running, so I just, again, I'm impressed that she's coming on here and
she's-
talking
yeah.
and engaging in this.
She's amazing.
Okay, I gotta go back to the event. We go on.
No,
tyrants.
it's fine. But I mean, just on that tangent about health, I had come to her and I said, okay, I'm nearing 52. I need help because I just that motivation to even just exercise, right? I'm in a desk job all day, so it's easy to get fixated in that. And she gave me she wrote it out. She said, Mom, this is what you need to do. You can change it up, but
For
minimum.
each body part.
Yeah, this is you need to work out the arms, the legs, make sure you walk, get this in. And I have lost 5 pounds since that time. Was that in the early
Yes.
fall or
Healthy.
the summer?
Healthy.
It was great. And we talk about self-esteem. I felt better about my body. I felt better but more of my health. I was sleeping better, making better choices. Something as small as she took my protein bars and she said, but Mom, you got to look out for this. I didn't even think about it. The added sugar line.
Oh yeah, they're terrible.
So bad.
And I usually
They're
look
terrible.
at the total and thought, okay, it's got honey or it's got this. And she said, you've got to avoid the ones that have added sugar. I mean,
Well, if
she
the
went
third
through
ingredient is
all.
sugar, you should
I
not
know,
be eating it.
but she went through all of the stuff I eat and just complete the lack of awareness of thinking I didn't even know that was in there. And so yeah, it's
You cleaned out her cabinets too, right?
She did.
Yeah.
You just went through
Still working
everything.
on it. Well, we had like a day where she was like, "Okay, take all the junk out." So I was like, "Okay," and I just took all the junk out.
it wasn't that.
Was there
bad.
anything left? My
it
closet is a
wasn't.
mess. My closet or my pantry's a mess.
There
It
was
wasn't
some
that
stuff
bad.
left. There was I don't remember what was left though.
I think
Okay.
some of my cereals were sugary.
They're all sugar. Let's go back to cereal again. The event. So 15 models. We're getting 25. That's the number.
Yes,
if you hear
that's
this,
the goal.
Reese Witherspoon, I'm going to reach out to you and your team. And you'll probably hear this on the episode anyways. What else? So people can, ticket sales are a must.
Ticket
Not
sales are a
necessarily
must.
looking for partnerships or sponsors.
Yeah.
Maybe next year if it makes sense.
And
but
if
this is
somebody
about
wants to
the
be
models.
generous and say, hey, I believe so much in this cause, here's $1,000, $5,000, wonderful. But I really wanted to make the event about the models. I wanted to make it about everyone on the runway, having an opportunity for the special speakers I have to speak and what it's like, and really make it about them. And I feel sometimes with sponsorships, it becomes more of,
Lines get blurred.
Yeah.
Lines get blurred.
you said it perfectly.
I dropped my pen. Don't judge me. Oh, my back. It's funny. So I found this on the show. We have a variety of guests. I'm noticing more and more nonprofits coming on because they want
Yes.
to talk about specific events. And they all say it. When you take money from certain people, they have expectations, and that's not really what it's about
Yeah.
in this instance.
Yeah.
What are you most excited for this event?
I think it's just like the opportunity. Like even, it might not be like exposure or anything, but it's just like the chance to like get in front of people and talk about my story. And she's doing all of this for me, funding out of her own pocket. So that's incredible. I mean, I'm very grateful for that. So
Yeah, that's a gold
excited.
star mom status right
Yes,
there.
a gold star mom
have
Yeah,
status.
to.
she's waiting for a high five over there. Don't leave her hanging.
Well, in Leadership Jacksonville, you hear the term advocate a lot.
Yeah.
And I never pictured myself as an advocate, but seeing the energy that all of these leaders have in doing something, changing, they're change makers.
Yeah.
They're doing something about things that don't work in Jacksonville or aren't right. And I thought, wait a minute, I'm surrounding myself by all these fantastic people. Why am I not doing something? And that's why I thought, you know what, why wait for a fashion show? Let's make it happen now. And I will give credit to Saloni's coach at Wilson High School. I pulled him aside.
What's his name?
Chris McCaffrey.
Chris McCaffrey.
Love you,
What's up,
Coach.
Chris?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I mean, just a
I love
fantastic
coaches.
individual.
The
He owns
impact
his
it
own
was like-
running company too. He's
Okay.
a cool guy. Lululemon
Yeah.
ambassador. He's awesome.
He's
Get him
great.
on the show. Put him in touch.
Yeah,
He would
I
so do that.
Oh,
I will
yeah.
do that. But I pulled him aside to thank him for the self-esteem he's instilled in Saloni and the talks they've had. And I loved how he looked at me and he said, she's going to start her own modeling agency. Yeah. You just watch. And I said, I love that.
He wants me to.
So I love that she's got it in her. It just needs to be put out. That energy needs to be put out there.
I asked her what she's most excited for. What are you most excited for? The event specifically, which is February 22nd, 2024 at 6 o'clock, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I am really excited to see when those models walk out on that runway and they give me the biggest smile ever and they walk out there with confidence, knowing that this is the first time that they're modeling in an audience of, could be their friends or family, could be somebody that they're meant to meet that night. That's when I know this show was a success. When I see the look on their faces, and I've told all of them, this is your show. You want to shake it on there? You want to dance? Blow kisses? Show your personality, make yourself shine. I mean, in all the fashion shows I used to produce in my previous business when I designed handbags, I told every model, smile, be happy.
Yeah.
Give a hug, blow
contagious.
kisses. It's contagious. And just like you talked about earlier, healthy or not healthy, having a sense of humor, I think having a sense of joy about being alive, being vertical,
Yeah.
it's very
I was going to say
important.
upright.
Yeah.
To-
And also just seeing when she gets dressed up,
I was going to say, I want to see your look when she walks out
I
there.
can't wait.
It's almost like
opening
when
the show.
when the daughter walks
Yeah.
down the aisle to get married.
Yeah.
Aw,
Yeah.
so cute.
So
we get dressed together and we style each other up and we're looking in the mirror and we're like, we just look fabulous. It's awesome.
So, random question.
Yeah.
Do you think Trey and I should do our catwalk here on camera and see what that
That'd be
looks like?
awesome.
Yes.
Oh, he's gonna do it. I was kidding, man.
Oh, no, I love it. Talk about confidence.
Well, I don't know. Where are you in camera
know,
here? There's not much walking space.
Do it with my wife. Could you do that?
Yeah.
Anyways, we just walk like this.
I don't know. I can't
You
do it.
know
either.
what?
This is
Good
great.
stress.
You guys are giving.
This is
Why don't you
great,
guys
man.
be the inaugural couple model that night?
Like him and I will be a couple, or him and his wife. I'm like, well, hold on a sec. Yeah.
That's good.
My
Get
wife's
them
tall. My
both.
wife's 5'7".
Oh, she's too
Oh,
tall.
Saloni was
I
just
guess
saying
I don't
both
wanna
of
say
you
tall.
should model together and walk hand in hand. And
I'm totally down. I'm kidding. Our wives would be mortified. I got to ask this too, the counter side of what you're most excited for. Is there anything you're nervous about for this event?
Failure.
What?
Well, hold on a sec. What is,
No one
I love when people
shows
say
up.
that.
Oh, yeah.
What is failure though? Like, how do you define it?
Nobody coming.
In the audience?
Yeah.
Okay.
We were talking about
No
this
one
earlier.
heard that.
Acknowledge it. And
She's been very honest. And again, I credit Melanie Patz. She was walking down the hallway, and I went up to her and I said, Melanie, I'm so excited for this event, but I don't know if 10 people will show up or 100. I'd love to aim for 100 or more. And this is how graceful she is. She looked at me and she said, Manisha, do you remember when Porch Fest started in Springfield? And I said, yes. And she said, do you think 100 people came? They maybe started out with 5, 10, 15 people, and look at it now.
it's the 10-year anniversary next
Yeah.
year, right? That's a really cool event.
And when she said that, I looked at her and I said, and that's why you're opening the show.
So you said it right, and I ask people this all the time. What's the definition of failure? To me, this is my interpretation of what you
Yeah.
all are doing, and I love. Success is getting out there and walking out on that
Yeah.
stage, right?
Yeah.
Success is doing it and putting this together. So whether there's one person in the audience or 100, like you said,
Yeah.
Yeah.
there is no failure. Just doing this
Yeah.
is successful. That's my opinion.
I feel like the reason I say that is just because you put so much time and effort into it, and if nobody comes, it just like shows me more how nobody cares about this issue. Like that's how I feel. If like
Yeah.
no one shows up, it just like kind of seals the deal. Like people could care less about this. Like that's how I feel. I'm trying not to feel that way, but like that's how.
But that's how you feel, yeah.
Yeah. And see,
Because
this
it's just like that's my life. So I'm just kind of like, if no one comes to this, it's like no one cares. Like, okay, you're short, move on. You know what I mean? Like nobody.
And that's
cares.
exactly why I want to do
why
it. I know.
I say failure, but I mean,
Well, I think back to my favorite movie,
What is it?
La La Land.
I never saw it. Don't judge me. I know. I'll watch
That's
it
your
tonight.
homework.
Okay.
But there is a scene in the movie.
Homework. This is my first time getting homework.
There's a scene in the movie where the main is Emma Stone.
Emma Stone.
She puts on a one-woman play. I mean, puts, just like Saloni said, all her effort into it. I mean, the script, everything. And maybe there's 10 people in the audience, right? But there is one woman there who later calls her up and changes her entire life. Asks her to come audition. And it was just that one woman, and I still remember,
That's
she's in the center
life.
of the audience. And I tell everyone, I said, you don't know whether you're in the supermarket or at a board meeting who's going to change your life. You have to dress up and show off to be available for that opportunity. It's kind of like one of my favorite signs is preparation and opportunity. And if you're prepared, that opportunity will come.
Yeah. What is it? I find that the harder I work, the luckier I get.
There
Was
you
that Henry
go.
Ford or someone
I mean,
else?
look how
It's just
lucky you are.
realistic.
You're here with us today.
I am very lucky.
You're
This
like
is cool.
the luckiest guys.
Any quick shout outs before we wrap it up here? Anyone you want to say hi to? Thank you to? Other than
Definitely
Coach? We
to
love you,
your-
Coach.
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
Coach, love you so much.
He's awesome. And I have to 100%, my parents are up in heaven, but 100% thank you to them.
Yeah.
They both were the very go-getter types, walk up to strangers, talk to them. My dad was a public speaker, which is why I love it. And so everything I do all day long, I always thank God and my parents. And I'm so thankful I get to do this for her. You know, and my son, who's much taller than both of us, what is someone at 5'7"?
He's like almost 5'8" now.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
He is just the cutest, most adorable, straightforward, honest kid. I mean, I just adore him. And just like I'm doing this for Saloni, whatever opportunity he has, I can't wait to do something for him.
You, like I said, you get a gold star in momming.
Yes, you do. Gold star.
Thank you.
Manisha Saloni Joshi,
Yes.
thank you for joining. I had a
you.
blast. 64 Inches of Style, again, February 22nd, 2024. We'll share the information to sign up, get tickets, if we can help spread the word. But we
you.
talked. I'm like, I think this is going to be a lot of fun.
Thank you so
thank you for
much.
joining.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you also for hopping on. That's what the health
course.
just happened.
And thank you to the team.